AITAH for telling my stepdaughter she is welcome to go live with her mother full-time because I won't get rid of my Harry Potter-themed bookcase. Advice needed. I'm having a bit of family drama and need a reality check about if I am being unreasonable here. I really need the perspective of LGBT-sensitive individuals because the drama surrounds transphobia perpetrated by J.K. Rowling. My stepdaughter is going through a pretty tough time. The last couple years have been really rough on her. She has been dealing with bullying at school, being held back a year, not getting along with her mom's new husband, self-harm and identity issues. Lots of questioning of her sexuality and gender. We have been working on getting her a good mental health team of doctors and therapists to help her navigate all of this. Please know we aren't throwing her to the wolves or internet to deal with it all herself. I've been in her life since she was 7. We've always had a pretty good, though not terribly close, relationship. I have not taken on a parental role, but have always tried to make myself available for her. Until last year, her mom had primary custody and her dad had weekends with alternating holidays. Last year, due to the issues with her school and mom's house, my stepdaughter requested that custody arrangements be changed. Since she came to live with my husband and I full-time, there has been quite a bit of friction between the two of us. One of the biggest points of contention is my Harry Potter fandom, particularly the bookcase, and my supposed transphobia due to my apparently wrong stance when it comes to the politics regarding trans issues in our country. I grew up in the heyday. So many of my childhood and teen memories are tied to the franchise. My friends and I were all really into it. We attend midnight book releases, dressed up in costume for movie releases, threw HP-themed parties when we wanted to hang out, etc. In many ways, it shaped the course of my entire life. Those same friends and I joined our high school's botany club because herbology. That unlocked a lifelong passion of mine in my careers working with plants. Over the years, I've collected quite a bit of memorabilia, many of which are gifts, and they have always been displayed on my most prized possession, a monstrously large custom bookcase my grandfather, a former woodworker, built for me when I was a teenager. I love this thing. The shelves are live-edge black walnut slabs. All around the casing, my grandpa carved beautiful HP-themed imagery. Owls, cauldrons, shooting stars, lightning bolts, an adorable little rat at the bottom and nibble marks from said rat, etc. It's both sentimental and valuable. The slabs of walnut for the shelves alone would be pushing $1,000, let alone attempting to value the hand-carved craftsmanship. The bookcase has always been proudly displayed in my home. It currently lives in our living room. During one of our family therapy sessions, my stepdaughter expressed that seeing my HP shelf made her feel really uncomfortable because of the author, and that she was really disappointed in me and her father for being so supportive of a bigot. I apologized for making her feel uncomfortable in her own home and said that I would take down the HP stuff. So I packed up all the HP-themed merch off the shelves, made sure I didn't have the books or anything on display that said Harry Potter anywhere. I bought some LED grow lights and converted the bookcase into a plant shelf to display succulents. I bought some witchy, but not overtly Harry Potter, themed pots for the little guys so they'd go with the shelf. This was not an acceptable compromise for my stepdaughter and has remained a point of contention. With my stepdaughter hurling that we referring to my husband broke a promise by saying we would get rid of the Harry Potter stuff. I tried to explain to my stepdaughter that, while I do not agree with J.K. Rowling's political stance at all, the media has a special place in my heart because of my childhood association with it, and that the shelf was very important to me because it was a gift from my grandpa. But she maintains that none of that should matter because in 2024, it is nothing but a symbol of transphobia and hate. At first, my husband was supportive of me and my desire to keep my bookcase, but lately the arguments are wearing on him and he asked me if I would reconsider keeping it in the living room, suggesting we rent a storage unit to house it in. After the most recent blow-up about it, I kinda lost my temper. I didn't yell or anything, but I did very firmly tell my stepdaughter that this is my home and my bookshelf stays. If it is such a big problem for her, she can always go back to live with her mother. I knew it was a low blow pretty much as soon as I said it. I quickly apologized, but it was out there. My stepdaughter has been on an emotional downward spiral. My husband and I have been arguing almost nonstop. I think it is mostly stress because he is at his wit's end with how to help his daughter, but he is becoming pretty mean and nasty towards me, telling me to grow up and just get rid of the F the King bookcase. I know I was a dick for saying my stepdaughter could always go back to live with her mom, and I suspect that will be the main topic at hand in our next family therapy session. But am I really being unreasonable in wanting to keep my beloved bookcase? Edit. Thank you, everyone. Honestly. Thank you for those who shared their insight and advice, and thank you to the people who have asked me hard questions that made me think. Especially those who asked what matters more, a bookcase or my child. I've been reflecting really hard on what my bookcase means to me and why it is so important. I'm hitting some deep truths I don't think I was ready to recognize about how I really feel about my relationship with my stepdaughter. All in all, I think we just need to shelf things until our next therapy session. I'll see myself out. First comment, I thought it showed a lot of empathy for Op to box up all the HP memorabilia. It obviously has high sentimental value to her, especially if some were gifts. They remind her of the impact HP made on her during her formative years, before the author's views came to light. Op knows right now is the same time frame of formative years for her stepdaughter, so she's trying to do right by her. I know a big problem for those opposed to J.K. Rowling is buying anything that further lines her pockets, which is a very valid point. It might help if you remind her your bookshelf gave J.K. absolutely nothing. The bookshelf isn't an homage to HP, it's an homage to your grandfather. Every painstaking carving was crafted out of love for you. Every hour of craftsmanship poured into your grandfather's masterpiece was an hour he spent thinking of how much joy you brought to his life. It's the physical embodiment of how much you meant to him. Maybe if you try and explain the familial connection the bookshelf represents, your stepdaughter can see it in a different light. Second comment, NTA. You can disagree with JK and still love Harry Potter. I am a bit older than you and grew up with Prince, Boy George, David Bowie, etc., so very comfortable with gender fluidity, and I love Harry Potter. I, like many, was shocked when JK made her stance known. But here is the thing, Harry Potter is bigger than JK. I think Charles Dickens was a prat, but I'm watching The Muppets Christmas Carol when it comes on. The art has become bigger than the creator. I would explain to her that you are allowed to love this cherished handmade gift and Harry Potter, and you can still support her, they too, and love them. I also think this isn't about the Iranian yogurt. It sounds like they are struggling to find themselves and are hyperfixating on something to control and direct their anger towards, and this is it. If you get rid of the bookshelf, it will become something else. Maybe bet a few pots that are trans flag colors, though. Also, maybe read Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan for some good fiction on the topic, and everything Jennifer has written for some different perspectives. Also explain this is difficult. Part of your identity is a Potterhead. No one gets to change that. She doesn't get to take that away and claim to honor you. I walked down the aisle at my wedding to the theme song, so I am here with you. But she can focus on how can you two hold space for this journey together. I'd also work through in counseling that you cannot like something about someone and it not be an offense to you. She can hate your bookshelf, but that isn't about her. You can loathe purple nail polish, but if she paints her toes purple, that isn't about you, and it isn't an offense to you. Good luck. Ravenclaw out. I'm still mad they got the colors wrong in the movies, but it wasn't an offense to Emmy ... I'm growing too. Third comment, I was all set to judge that you're TA, but after reading the whole story, definitely NTA. You have been compassionate and sensitive by boxing up so many of your prized souvenirs. But South Dakota needs to extend a little grace back to you. She needs to realize that the bookcase really has nothing to do with HP or JKR, but really to do with your special relationship with your grandfather. Telling her she can move back in with her mom was probably not the most sensitive thing to say, but everyone is human and entitled to make mistakes. You apologized, and that's all you can do. This is a good opportunity for her to learn about accepting sincere apologies and making compromises for the people around you, things every teen should learn. I get that she's been having a rough time, but hopefully she can grow from this experience. It's rough being a teenager. You sound like a really good, caring stepmother. I hope your family can work through this with help from your family counselor. Good luck.